Here's a digestible little show from the folks at the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. Yep, it's Eat Right Radio with Melanie Cole, MS.
With the holidays right around the corner, people start thinking about what they'd like to do to try and make it just a little bit healthier so they don't do so much damage around the holidays. My guest today is Jessica Crandall. She's a registered dietitian, nutritionist, and Academy spokesperson. Welcome to the show, Jessica. So tell us a little bit about the upcoming holidays. What do most people do around the holidays?
Well, thank you for having me. I think one of the first things we need to focus on is making sure we have the right mindset going into the holidays. We know that Thanksgiving is just one day, but I don't think anyone wants to be focused on being thankful for those added pounds that they put on over the holiday. So we really need to put our mindset right and be realistic about knowing that we do typically eat more calories that day, but simple modifications that we can make with our recipes can really be helpful in cutting back on those added calories as well as those added fats that we don't really need on that day.
So let's start with preparing for that day and kind of watching our calories before that day, and then move into what do you do when you get to somebody's house and there's all this gorgeous food around.
Right. I think it is important to really strategize about the day and maybe the week even in advance, really focusing on increasing your steps that day or that week as well as your activity, just kind of knowing that you might be consuming a few more extra calories. I also strongly encourage my clients to talk to the host if they're not having Thanksgiving at their own house and kind of see what's being prepared, see what we can offer to bring, and see what modifications we can make so that we do have healthy options available. As we know, it's really challenging when you get to a house and there's nothing healthy there. So what host doesn't want someone bringing a healthy option, right? That's about 0 people want additional help. So we really do want to offer up that help, and we really want to make sure we're providing them with those healthy options, not only for them, but for ourselves as well.
So give us some of those healthy options. What can we do to make the sweet potatoes with marshmallows healthier? People put butter and brown sugar. There's mashed potatoes and gravy, and these things have so many calories. Give us some examples that people can use this year and change up the recipes a little.
Right. Traditions are really hard, especially family traditions that have come down generationally. But making 1 or 2 simple modifications in those recipes can be helpful in cutting back on those added calories and fats. So some of the things that you can do is really just simply when you're making your turkey, if that's your meat of choice, is instead of using butter on it, go ahead and use broth and use your herb seasonings as well as maybe some lemon juice. And then while you're eating it, make sure that you're taking off any of that skin, as that's where some of those additional saturated fats and calories do hide. So really make sure you're just trying to eat that white meat, not the dark meat, and then once again remove the added skin. Also, when you're looking at your recipes, if you're bringing any kind of baked dish, such as those sweet potatoes, you don't need to add all of the marshmallows on the top and all the brown sugar. You may just cut the brown sugar into half of the normal recipe and use smaller marshmallows instead. That's another simple modification that we can do for a common family traditional food.
Okay, so then
to that,
do you want to recommend that people eat before they go to these parties? Do they eat something at home a little healthier so that they're full, or does that just double up on everything?
So I think you want to make sure you're eating a healthy meal before you go, because anytime you are ravenous, we make bad decisions, not only in food choices, but in volume. So make sure you have that healthy meal before you go. Maybe it is lower in calories, higher in fiber, so that it's very filling. So maybe a nice salad before you go. And then that way, when you get to the party, once again, you don't over-consume on that volume as well as those higher calorie items. So I would encourage having a small, healthy meal before you go.
And what about the alcohol, Jessica? Because that adds a lot of calories. People don't even realize how quickly that adds up.
It does add up really quickly. So stick with what you know. Your red wine and your white wine typically is about 100 calories per 4-ounce pour. And I strongly suggest that we use portion control, as we know that 1 glass a day for women and 2 glasses a day for men is what is our allowance or our allotment. So try and practice that portion control and be mindful of your serving. Stay away from those higher calorie mixed drinks because, once again, liquid calories can add up really quickly. whether it be a punch that is made or whether it be an eggnog drink. We really want to make sure we're making those healthy modifications even in what we sip.
So now the desserts, the pumpkin pie and the mousses and the pecan pie. There's so many pies and cookies and cakes and things. How do we steer clear of those a little bit? Or is moderation or just tasting each thing okay? What should we do?
That's a really good question. So I think we have to back up a little bit and make sure we're practicing perfect portions at our actual meal. And so during that plate up of Thanksgiving, try and put half of your plate as vegetables. And maybe you're in charge of bringing those vegetables, whether it be the green beans, that could be just roasted green beans or roasted vegetables. It doesn't have to be the cream-based ones. But if you are going to do those vegetables in a cream-based sauce, make sure you're using a reduced fat dairy product. I also would suggest that if you're looking at appetizers and desserts, yes, we know things can add up quite quickly. Those extra little nibbles here and there, we have to be mindful of. So once again, making sure you're picking those lower calorie choices, maybe a handful of nuts, or once again, shrimp would be a nice option, or those veggies, fruit. And then for dessert, my personal favorite instead of pumpkin pie is to make what I call pumpkin whip, which is simply with Greek yogurt and then a little bit of pumpkin puree, nutmeg, cinnamon, and mix that together, and then you can put it on a whole grain graham cracker crust. And that's a delicious, healthy option that you can have instead of those 500-600 calorie one slice desserts. If, however, you get there and there is that high calorie pie that you know you really enjoy, once again, practicing perfect portions and sticking to a smaller serving is going to be key. So, once we're off track, some of us go, oh, okay, I'm off track and I'm just going to completely blow it because it doesn't matter. I've already blown it anyways. But I really think we need to change our mindset and stick to that healthy portion because we don't want to have to pay for these decisions tomorrow, and we don't want to have to worry about, the new year coming around and that New Year's resolution. We want to start being healthy today.
Great advice. Now we only have about a minute and a half left. Give us another recipe for something. Stuffing, for example. To me, it's simply a filler. I don't need it. I like it and I taste it while I'm cooking it, but I don't even bother putting much of it on my plate. But give us something that we can do to, lighten up one of the other recipes. Give us one more recipe, Jessica.
Yeah, I think that you really want to focus on making sure you are picky. If you don't like something, don't put it on your plate. So if it's that stuffing, make sure you're just skipping it if it's not something that you like. But when preparing that stuffing, I would use a broth to keep it moist versus all that added butter. And so that's one simple modification you can do to lower the fat grams as well as the calories. And I do have to say, one additional thing I think is really important is getting out there and being active with your family during halftime, during the football game, going and tossing the football or going on a walk or a hike, and really embracing those family moments versus all the food moments. The family moments are what makes the memory, and that's what we'd like to be the focus, as well as those healthy modifications we've talked about from a food standpoint as well.
So just wrap it up in the last 30 seconds, Jessica. Your best advice for this upcoming holiday season.
Absolutely. The more knowledge you have going into the holiday and the better strategies you have, the more successful you are going to be. Working with a registered dietitian can be very helpful for you. And once again, plating up your vegetables, making that a good focus of your meal, and then being active every single day is, of course, important, even in the winter, even during those holiday days. Make sure you're incorporating that on a daily basis.
Thank you so much. You're listening to Eat Right Radio with our great friends from the Academy of Nutrition and Dietetics. For more information, you can go to eatright.org. That's eatright.org. This is Melanie Cole. Thanks so much for listening and stay well.